Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz on August 25, 2018, and it's 12:54 a.m. Birmingham. Topic is, should we, in November, lose? And I'm talking about a blue wave taking over. It will destroy the United States. Let me tell you some of the ways that it will destroy our country. Number one, the biggest threat, Agenda 21. This is handing America over to the New World Order and to the Pope as quickly as possible. Number two, crashing economy that Trump has worked so hard to build. Number three, a major job loss immediately. Number four, much higher taxes. The tax increase you got will be wiped out with an additional 15 to 20% increase on top of what it was. Much higher health care. In other words, you can't afford it, so then it would be state-owned health care, and you fall under that as a socialist. Major loss in industry. Over 2 years, a loss of between 4 to 5 million jobs. Military basic needs only in a 4-year destroy plan. This is minimizing the military so that we can barely take care of ourselves and not anyone else like Israel and our allies. They're out. Vet medical, the veterans, it'll be gone. Food prices have an increase of 25 to 35% over 2 years as a minimum. And from there, no telling what it will go to. Gasoline over 90 and 120 days will go up to $2 over what it is today. The swamp, it will refill overnight. The illegals, the growth will be up by 500% over a 4-year period. Debt will be plunged $4 trillion in debt at a minimum at between 2 and 4 years. Church, new laws will pass to silence Christianity. And you know that they're trying to do that now, and with threats of jail time and long-term prison sentences, just like you see in Iran and in Turkey. And in Iraq, where they just simply kill the Christians, and where in South Africa, they just kill them and burn the churches. FEMA camps will increase to expand to hold 30 plus million people. Any and all Middle East visitors to our country that chooses to come will be come through an open gate with zero vetting. I'm sorry, I jumbled that a little bit. We will tell Israel that we'll no longer support them and our embassy will be closed. North Korea will no longer support that cause. Either attempts to pay them off or they will return with vengeance against the United States. The American flag, no honor, no longer at any sports events. And you already see that today by them not even playing the anthem. California will burn to the ground. Illegals will overrun and own much of California. Texas, all border ranch owners will leave their ranches by threat of murder. They'll kill them. They've killed some already. You know that. The establishment will grow to a new club. This club will have instant access to all members with a promise of you become a multi-millionaire immediately. No-go zones will increase by 10 times. Sanctuary cities will increase by 10 times. ISIS, new overseas home, be right here in our country. Hispanic gang and drug cartels increase by tenfold. The United States will surpass Venezuela in a major crash. MS-13 gangs, another tenfold. increase. ICE will be dismantled. U.S. will be reverted to, will fall into the third world country category. 4 years begin to move to inner cities, just as all socialist and communist countries do. Once you're there, you are communist. Civil war will break out. Many thousands will die in that war. Jeff Sessions, he's now a happy camper. Gitmo will close. Hillary and Obama will be the leaders. You know that. And they'll rewrap the United States, as I said first up, that it will be handed over via Agenda 21 to the New World Order and to the Pope. Prior to these things, the church may be removed. All countries supported by the U.S. will fall. Israel, they have no longer our support, and they'll be subject to an immediate attack, and it'll be much sooner than later. But I'm tell you a little bit about that in a little bit. By the fourth year, additional loss of 3 to 4 million jobs over the 4 million that was increased by Trump. Well, that'll go to 8 million, and then up to 4 years, 12 million will lose their jobs. NAFTA will help to destroy the economy further than it already is by the blue wave. China will own California. I mean, own it, land and all. Oregon and Washington State. Russia will attempt to take Alaska by the fourth year. For every job gained, 4 will go away. All law enforcement will have new agendas, new rules. Some will be, you ready for this? Gunless. Gunless. This will be a punishment by anyone that have false charges brought up on them by this cop pulled a gun on me and I didn't do nothing. Between 100,000 and half million law enforcement officers will leave their jobs. The making of steel will end in our country. Coal mines will close down in our country. Fracking will end in our country. The Fed and state park footprint will grow. And this means that there's a larger area that you cannot walk on and visit. The oil wells in the Gulf of Mexico shut down. All traces of them will be removed. FDA will shut down life-saving drugs that Trump has promised people. Illegals, drug increase will increase by 10 times in our country. Government employees will increase between 25 and 50% over the first 4 years. Fox and similar news network stations will be forced to shut down or change their agenda. No more selective TV. Your channels will become, well, you'll be monitored and you will be told by, well, see what they do in other countries that have socialists, and you'll watch only what the government wants you to watch. No more free internet view. What I mean by that, you'll pay for the internet, but you'll be limited to what you can watch. That'll be removed. Also, just like Alex Jones was removed, and someone else was just removed for 90 days yesterday, and I'll think of the name in a moment. And lying liberal TV and Democrats will finally join hands and dance around. Number 58. I have 60 more items here that will all show you just how badly it's going to go for good law-abiding citizens. I'm not going to go there. But I'm going to tell you what, we do have some good news, because these things will not happen We're not going to have a blue wave take over. Not now. God put Trump in. We prayed for a very long time, 2 Chronicles 7:14. That was in part what got us our president. We got a good man. We got he's a genius in every way. And I don't care how much you hate him, that doesn't negate who he is and who put him in office. So the good news here is he will remain to finish out the term God has appointed him. And it appears that he has 6 more years to go. And I believe by that time this country will be on such a high and everything is going so well for the law-abiding Americans that they'll want to keep it going that way. And there's a likelihood that that will continue for an additional 4 to 8 years as this country will bring in another Republican president. So keep in mind, again, when America falls, so will most, if not all, of the other nations that are the holdout nations who are preventing the New World Order and Agenda 21 for taking hold of this planet. Because when they take hold, that is the Antichrist taking charge. God is preventing that. And I believe God brought Trump to head that off and buy us more time, because there are things that God wants Trump to do for him. And God will be the one, he'll be the lawyer in charge, and that is reversing Roe versus Wade. The Democrats have already called it. They know that that is coming to an end. It is biblical for all of us to soon be banished, be taken away. And I'm talking about the church. It's biblical that when things get to a point and bad enough, then God is going to allow the Antichrist to come in and have his 7 years. But we will not be here, because during that 7 years, the judgments will begin starting perhaps on day 1 of the first or the final 7 years. And God will not allow and not let anyone go through his personal judgment. Not anyone that is saved. If you're saved, you don't have to worry about any of these things. We're not going through this hell that will come in either 6 years or at the end of 14 years. One of the two is coming. We can't prevent it. We can't stop it. We can't head it off. It's coming. And only God knows how long from now we'll be able to live a better life, such as we're living right now today. And Israel, they'll be on their own. But then God will fight for them. He will destroy those who attack Israel in the Ezekiel 38-39 war. While America is sitting here falling apart at the seams, all because of this thing called the blue wave. Remember, the blue wave is the path to destruction. To keep the Republicans in is a promise that you will have peace until the blue wave does come, and one day it will come. But for now, just make sure it is safe for you to die. You need to be safe regardless of who comes. Because if you die tonight in a fire, if you die tomorrow in a car wreck, or if you die in your sleep, make sure that your soul is safe, because it's going somewhere. And it's up to you to decide where it's going. John 3:16 makes it loud and clear that God sent his Son to die for you. And if you receive him and believeth in him, you will not perish. Jody Wolf, Expoz.